Welcome back to the Vault Society podcast, the place where entrepreneurs and investors come to get locked in and go all in. My name is Danielle Harrisek, and today we are here with founding key holder Jay Sarcione. Welcome.
Hey, Danielle. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah.
Excited to be part of the group over here and networking and learning with everyone in the area.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you part of it. The only moving company that we have at the Vault.
The only one they need to know. Just saying.
So tell us a bit about your background and about your company.
Sure, absolutely. So I grew up in a small town in Mendon, Massachusetts. Went all the way up through there through high school, went off to college for about 7 years, never finished. It was kind of a party animal. We'll leave it at that. It was a long tenure in college, but I learned a lot there, good and bad, you know. But then when I moved up to southern New Hampshire in 2012, wasn't really quite sure. Like, I don't know, like New Hampshire, it sounds so different.
I felt the same way.
It's fucking awesome there. Southern New Hampshire is awesome. I can still go south 15 minutes if I want to go be a crazy man, and I can live better here.
Agreed.
100%. I love it. I love it up here. I've been in Salem for 10 years or so, you know. But so, like I was saying, I went to school, never finished. So it's harder to get certain jobs when you don't have that piece of paper. For a lot of companies, you need that piece of paper that says you took all these classes, whether you could perform at the job or not, right?
Yes. A lot of not useful classes.
Majority not useful.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously didn't make it to many of them, and I've been able to figure out, and I'm doing okay. So it's working out, Mom, just saying, you know. But I had a job at a company in Andover, Mass, and I started doing moving on the side with an employee there, did it on the side to make extra money. So I was doing it, nights and weekends, and eventually it was just like, I saw what people were paying for that. And I had some ideas on kind of what I wanted to do. The guy I was working with, we're still in contact to this day. We kind of had different ideas on what we wanted to do. And then eventually I just was like, I want to quit my job and just wing it and do this on my own. And it was basically like I had, it was a lot of back and forth about how can I just start this and still afford to pay my rent where I was and stuff. And I actually got, my father gave me money for a month of rent, which was like $900 or $800 at the time. And he's like, after that, this is it. Like you're done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right. I was able to pay the rent, obviously, and I made it through, and I've been going through and winging it ever since. For anyone who owns their own business and says they're not winging it, they're lying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I've had the business for over 10 years now, and we're doing real good. Always wanting to get better and stuff. But I kind of when I first started doing it, I was 24, so I loved like the physical aspect of it and stuff, and I still do. Sometimes I would rather be out working with the guys than dealing with people. Yes. You know what I mean? But no, I've been doing it ever since. I got a great team now. We've come to get, involved in a lot of stuff in the community, met a ton of people around here in the area. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now with business.
So did you take any business classes in college?
Yes. I went to school to be a marketing major.
Okay.
I was doing extracurricular marketing out of school, and it was 2012 is when I moved up here. I'm in recovery. I've been sober since 2012. That's when I retired from drinking and partying. So I've always had the mentality, if I really like something, it's gonna be excessive.
You're gonna figure it out.
I made bad decisions when I was young and chose wrong things to be excessive with. And now I like to believe that I'm doing right things to be excessive mentality with, So I love having my own business, The rewards are the best feeling in the world, whether it's, you're making some more money or just hearing people, call these guys do a great job. Like that's where the real reward is. And of course, there's the headaches that come with business that are a lot stronger than your normal headache.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But I look at it this way. I've never been scared to take risks on anything. I'm a very risky person with almost everything, you know? But that's the way that all successful people are.
That's right.
What's the worst that could happen? I've been in very dark places in life when I was younger. Okay, maybe something gets messed up at work and I lose money. Okay, I still have a house, I have a wife, I have kids. I don't really have anything to complain about.
Yeah. The money will come back around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, money's just money. We all want it. We all want a lot of it, but
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
what's going to make me happy.
Right. Right.
Feels nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
But
of
that's
course.
not going to be my source of happiness,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Do you feel like you use those dark times to really push you through?
yeah, I mean, I definitely use the fact that if I am having a real hard week or, you know, stuff's not going right at work, you know, guys are making mistakes and, you know, I'm just dealing with a lot of shit and a lot of stress. I try to sometimes my wife will have to remind me Jay, is, you know, a couple of years ago, you probably would have been like, I'm quitting, I'm done. Now you're just like, hey, let's figure it out. You
Yes.
become immune to certain problems. And as your business grows and you start doing bigger and better things or whatever you want to call it, you know, the problems get bigger, but you already have ways of dealing with them.
Yes.
You know?
Your baseline moves up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I now know how to handle all these things.
Yeah.
Whatever comes my way, I'll be able to tackle that. It may feel a little shaky at first, but
Yeah.
I'll get through that, and then that's underneath.
Yeah, I think you have to use places feel like most entrepreneurs have made a lot of bad mistakes in life, you know, for all different reasons. They've all had that same kind of personality, like 100 miles an hour or not at all.
Yes.
So I think for the majority, most entrepreneurs have in the back of their mind that you know, some people could be like, oh my God, this horrible thing happened at work. And other people would be like, oh my God, life's over. Where it's just like, damn. And then the next day it's like, all right, what do I have to do to keep that from happening again? Or what's the next step forward without it draining you?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's the mental drain that it's hard, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Which is really important to make sure you have a little bit of reprieve when you are away from work.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be for you.
Yeah.
For me, I like taking a bath. That
Yeah.
helps me.
Yeah.
But different things,
yep.
the gym, you know, all these things that feed us mentally so that we can withstand all of.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself, because when I'm not my best self, I'm not going to be a good boss. I'm not going to be friendly to people, you know. I'm not going to be the best dad or husband if I'm letting all this other stuff weigh me down. For me, I have about 2 hours a day, usually around 1 o'clock. I go down to my gym, I work out, and I run. Even it doesn't matter, the middle of the summer, it's rough.
Yes.
But I do it. I even go running in the winter. I have to do something, because when I do that, I'm better at everything else.
Right.
You have to have your personal time, because if not, you're going to lose it.
Yes. 100%.
You know?
And I feel like that sets a really good example for your team as well, to make sure that they're doing those things for themselves too, so they can come back and execute as you need them to.
Yeah, no, 100%. I get all my guys, or whoever wants to. I go to a gym in Lawrence called Fusion Fitness, and any of the guys that want to go there, I'll get them a membership. Some use it, some don't. But it's one of those things where just those little extra incentives, you know, you have to. My business couldn't be where it is now if I was the one on the truck moving stuff every day. I'm not going to be able to answer calls on time. I'm not going to be able to do any of the stuff that I really do now in my day-to-day. So I'm really trying to build a culture where it's these guys want to come to work. It's a very physically demanding job. Most people say Dr. Phil's oh, I hate moving. I'm like, I tell my wife all the time, we're never moving. I'm going to lose it. I could do it for work, but I'm not going to deal with all the stress that comes along with everything else. We only do a small aspect, I guess, of someone relocating. The mover is only 1 out of the 10 things that someone has to deal with.
Yes.
You know?
So going on that,
Yeah.
what are some ways that you make it a bit easier for your clients during that very stressful process?
So one thing, there's a bunch of different stuff that we really try to tackle that maybe some other companies don't. But we have especially the real big companies. I mean, you're going to call someone, they're going to give you the pricing and all that. And then, someone else will contact you to schedule. And then down the road, the day before, the company's going to send some other guys to come do it. We try to make it as personable as possible. And obviously the main reason, it's like, hey, if I was moving you, for an example, hey, I meet with you, or, we'll go through a video call. If our schedules are busy, you show me what you have. We always provide like a fully detailed pricing. A lot of other movers charge by the hour. So that kind of leaves an open-ended, like, well, what if it's 100 degrees today, or what if it's raining? I mean, you don't, on the day you're moving, the last thing the client needs is any other stress. I mean, with your husband's job, I'm sure he's like, these people are losing it. You know what I mean? It's normal. It's normal.
Well, there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, moving is there was a study that came out. It's like the top 3 most stressful things that adults in America go through. It's moving, money problems, and divorce. Those are the top 3 stressful things that in America adults go through.
You're packing up your entire life.
Yeah, and you have to have it as personable as possible, because it's like, hey, knock, we're here. Here's 8 strangers in your house taking everything you have. Like, why are you so stressed out? Like, obviously, you know what I mean? It's stressful enough just relocating yourself, you know what I mean? All the changes you go through. But I really try to have like a fun, friendly, personable approach. Like, I don't like all my guys. I try to have guys that, will do the work. They're friendly. They understand the client's perspective. It's not, a lot of people have the view of like, oh, moving company, just get like some young guys or like some buff guys to come carry this stuff around. I'm not a big guy by all means. Half the guys are my size. You don't have to be, that's not what you're looking for in someone who can actually service the client, But yeah, I mean, my main thing is to just make it as personal as possible, because that's what people want. They don't want, by the time you show up on move day, they don't want to still have that feeling of, all right, the strangers are here to take all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Yeah.
So what is important to you when hiring your team? Like, what is a common trait or?
So one thing that has been the most successful for me over time is hiring like other employees, referrals, like people who are looking for jobs or something like that. Because one, they'll just blend into the culture better because they already know what to expect. It's hiring movers themselves, it's a hard position to hire for, because a lot of people aren't going to meet the criteria you want. I have a lot of diversity on my team. I have, I have some guys that only speak Spanish. I have some guys that are bilingual. I have, couple 17-year-old local guys, and I have one guy that works for me, Jimmy, who's been with me for like 6-7 years. He's 65 or 66 years old.
Wow, get it.
And
Jimmy.
he's in shape. He's, he can do the whole thing, but like, I'm not. A lot of other moving companies, you'll see, it's like, oh, in college we'll have all the kids out and do this. They don't understand, a lot of them, like the importance of the level of service I want to provide, because we mostly move, residential homes. We don't do a lot of like apartment and smaller moves. We do, but that's not our main line. It's not our main focus, So like, we'll go to someone's house where they raised all their kids here. They lived here for 25 years and they're, relocating to Arizona or something. And it's like, okay, they need to feel comfortable and have a sense of trust with you when you're taking everything they've lived with for 20 years and all right, I'll see you in Arizona in a week, Yeah. So that's my main goal, is to just have trust and build trust with the company name. And that's why I think stuff like this is so important, being out in the community, because when you put your face and your name out there, you have to deliver. You know?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
So do you own the business with your wife?
So I own the business, and I don't know if it's like this for Phil too, but like we know who's in charge.
Yes.
You know,
Of course.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So she does a lot of stuff in the business. She works with me part time. She has another job, medical job, part time. But she works for me part time. She goes out and does a lot of like the in-home estimates, meet the people, check everything out, and all that. You know, it's one of the most important things, because if we don't have the estimate right, then that day is gonna get crazy.
Yes.
You know. So she does that, and then she consults me on all my other decisions. You know.
Yes, I understand. But it's so important to have that partnership.
Yeah, 100%. She knows when she started working like with me, maybe 3 years ago or something, instead of just, you know, hey, this is Jay's, you know, business. She's come to learn and be like, oh, this is why he's going crazy all the time. This is why he's so stressed out.
Yeah.
But she, most of the time, and probably all the time, has the advice to me of stuff that I may miss. I'm like, why do you guys keep doing this? She's like, Jay, it's because you're doing this. I'm like,
Yes.
you're right. Fine. You know what I mean?
She can come in with a bird's eye view and see where the kinks are.
Exactly. She can see the faults and mistakes that I'm making.
Yeah.
You know, because she's someone that knows me 100%.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, having her there with me is huge, and just having, you know, it's very hard, I would think, to be married to someone who's so engulfed in their business. And it's very hard people to like, oh, my husband owns his own business. It's like, all right, honey, I got to go. Hey, you know, we're so busy this week. I'm going to drive to California because I don't have enough guys here. I'll see you in 6 days. Like, for people to be able to do that. And we have 2 kids. It's a lot to do.
Yes.
You know, so that's something I'm very blessed to have, as someone who's understanding of sometimes it's going to be real rough, but other times it should be very good.
Yes.
You know?
The unconditional support. She wants to see you thriving. She wants to see your business thriving.
Yeah.
And you have that mutual understanding of what the future is going to be.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So speaking of your wife, she's Dominican.
Yes.
Right? So tell us what you have going on in the Dominican.
All right. So this is what I'm the most proud of, and what I love the most about what I'm doing in my life, you know, is we formed a foundation with the church in Villa Maya, which is just a neighborhood in the capital of Santo Domingo, which is actually owned and run by my mother-in-law. She's a pastor. So she keeps me in line to say that,
You're so
you know?
lucky.
Yeah, I need that though. I need that. I'll complain, but it's true. I need that, you know? But so she has a church down there. And basically what we started doing, you know, like a few years ago is from the outside, for us Americans, we're not going to see like I'll have people give me, you know, clothes that their kids, you know, not new stuff, clothes their kids have worn. Okay, it doesn't have a hole in it, whatever. There's a lot of places that we'll send these. So we'll take the boxes and like we'll pack stuff up in either like those big like garment clothing boxes, or they have these like almost like these drums, like the 55, you know, like the drums that people like burn wood in and stuff like that. You can send those to the Dominican, and they're normally, it's like around like $100 to $150, and there's no weight limit on them. So I basically take my biggest mover and I'm like, stand on this thing, and let's fit as much in here as we can. So we'll send clothes, we'll send toys, kids' books. Most of the stuff is geared towards kids. But, you know, it started like that because we can get down there, and my mother-in-law obviously has people in the community, and we'll go to some neighborhoods that are, you know, like extreme poverty. Like people don't have floors. They don't have doors. Some people, it's basically living outside with some wood around you, basically. No electricity. You know, they have like, some of the people have like little like tubes on their house that run water into a bucket. So when it rains, you got water.
Wow.
You know, use the woods for the bathroom and stuff like that, you know. So my mother-in-law lives right in the capital, my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They're both come back and forth all year. Both, dual citizens, so they can, which is great, 'cause you can come and go as you please,
Yes.
Even their house, they live well for that area, I would say. I'm not 100%, but I would say that they would be considered like they're doing okay, right? You got AC in one room, which thank God she lets me sleep in that room when I'm there, or else I'd probably
So
be
hot.
dead, man, But, a lot of people just don't have what we have as like bare necessities.
Yes.
Like when kids, I need a new pair of shoes, and it's like they've had them for 3 weeks. Like, no, you're wearing those until your toes are coming out of them,
Yeah.
But now we've officially been approved, as like a 501c3 nonprofit, because what I want to do with that is, so now I can take monetary donations. And what I want to start doing down there is for the people in these other neighboring churches that my mother-in-law has connections with, those, pastors and stuff like that, is to be able to go down there with some money and get them, a floor in their house, a door, a roof, just stuff like that. I look at it this way, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs do this stuff, but people may not see it because they're just like, oh, this guy's always chasing the next big move for me, or the next check or whatever. And for me, that stuff's the most rewarding, but I also feel like, I'm a firm believer in God. That was the only thing that helped me get clean. I tried all these other ways when I used to be a wild man to like stop living the way I did. Never worked. God was the one that helped me. That's what worked for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like that I'll always have a debt to pay back, because a lot of the people that I hung out with and did all that stuff with, they either in jail or dead for the most part. That's just how it goes. It's not like a sad story. That's the nature of that life, So I always feel like when I do stuff like this to give back, my life is always better because of it. I may miss some moves when I go down there, but I'll come back probably a happier, more fulfilled person than if I was up here like, oh God, I got to go work 15 hours today to get this done.
Yeah.
So that's that's what I'm really trying to focus on the next couple of years, because for us Americans, it's very cheap for us to change someone's way of life down. I mean, there's some places we go, there's 7, 8, 9-year-olds with no clothes on, not like little babies. Like my little kid's 4, she still just running around the house with no clothes on all the time. It's like, geez, But there's a lot of places we go. I mean, you're out trekking, in the woods, and there's like little shacks set up, and like, the kids are all running over to you. They're stepping on rocks. They're dirty, and because that's what they have.
Yes.
The craziest part is they're way friendlier than if like you go in a convenience store and people don't say thanks for holding the door. We'll bring food to them, like, like 100-pound bags of rice, and they're like trying to like cook it and feed you before you leave. And I'm just like, sure, why not? But like, I just walked up this hill in 95 degrees. Sure, I'll eat, but that's not why we're here,
Yeah, a totally different perspective.
Yeah, it's
gratitude.
Yeah, for sure. Even down there, we're trying to, so what we've been doing is sending, secondhand stuff down there, clothes, whatever, right? And just, we'll go to these places and kind of, whoever needs stuff, come grab it. But what we're trying to do is I would like to start being able to like help, like actually get them a house, like get them a door on the house, because there's, bugs, mosquitoes, there's all that stuff. They don't have the same, health care. You can complain about the ER here. At least you have an ER, I guess. You know what I mean?
Convenient MD. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Pop around the
exactly.
corner.
I could fall here and I'd be getting treated in 10 minutes. It's, we take that stuff for granted. But, I'd like to be able to start actually doing some work down there besides, providing food and clothes, but like more personal, like help them make their own home, stuff like that. And then start sponsoring kids for like daycares and stuff. So everyone here, and I don't know if your son, right? Son is probably gone to daycare, and we're like, wow, it's just so much money. And then you're home with 3 hours. You're like, they're so worth it. This kid is driving me nuts, But down there, you could spend about, I think it's like $80 to $100 and you could have a kid in a daycare for a month.
Wow.
And a lot of times, there's no work down there for the most part for a lot of people. So kids get, if someone showed up at my house and I live down there and I'm in a tough, I'm poor and don't have all this stuff, it's like, I'm just have to leave the kid in the room for the day. See you later. Because if not, you don't have food. Like, what do you do? There's stuff like that can happen. And honestly, here it's like if I go out and work with some of my guys for a few days, they get their tips at the end of the move and stuff. You just supply daycare for a kid for a month for working for 8 hours. And that's one of my movers or me going to do that labor job for the day. Just imagine what other people could do that are, bringing in a lot of money. You can put down a little bit of money and it could like change the potential of someone's life.
Literally, and generations to come.
Like imagine paying $100. I think it was $100. It could even be less to give a kid daycare for a month there, so the parents can actually go look for work.
Yeah. Feed their family.
Yeah.
Give them a better life. Yeah.
Yeah, for $100.
Yeah.
It's like, man, maybe send my kids down there for daycare.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that you have this North Star that keeps you going. That's something bigger than you, like bigger than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like changing lives.
Yeah.
Communities.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I love it. I'm going down there in a couple weeks. I think it's the end of the first week of July. So I'm actually me and my father-in-law's here now. So me and him and my 2 daughters, we're 4 and 7. We're flying down together, and they're actually going to spend about a month at my mother-in-law's house, which will be cool. I think it's going to be a cool experience for them. Just they'll be able to learn. Kids will learn another language in like a month at that age. It's absurd.
Learning more about their culture.
Exactly.
And how they can support that culture as they're growing.
Yeah, I brought home the other day. I brought home a couple of like my medium-sized moving boxes, and I'm like, both of you,
fill it up.
Go fill it up. I'm like, or I'll fill up 10 of them to get rid of all this stuff, please. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I want my kids to see, how lucky they are, I guess, and not like, I'm your dad. I get you the coolest of everything.
Yes.
I do the best I can for where I am, Yeah. But like, hey, there's other people that would kill to have those shoes, and you have 3 pairs, and you're complaining like they're a little tight, like yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's going to be a good experience for them. And then I'll be able to spend like, I don't know, maybe a week or so down there and be able to go to some of the places and stuff like that. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing that. I mean, I feel like it adds such a special touch to your business too, that it's so much more than just moving.
Yeah. And that's people, I'm a firm believer in like, if I'm hiring someone for something, I'm going to hire who my best friend tells me is the guy, or like, hey, everyone knows this person. Everyone says, I see this guy. I'm hiring someone to paint my house, and there's a guy that his kids are on my daughter's soccer team. I see him every week. He's such a good dad and all this stuff. He's my guy. People hire who they know and who they trust. They don't necessarily go online and say, well, 1,000 people said great things about this guy, but this guy's 500 people said great things, but there was 3 negative things. But I know this guy. Yeah. He's going to take care of me. He's the man. That's who I'm going with, So, yeah.
Well, we're excited to keep spreading the word about you, your business, and what you're doing for the communities down there in the Dominican. So keep us updated.
Absolutely.
We want to hear updates, and we'll do anything we can to share about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to maybe because Phil was in the military, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he can come down and protect me sometimes. I kind of go roaming around by myself a little bit,
I feel like he's like, yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
He put in his time.
Yeah. All right.
So tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah. So you could find my business on Instagram at First Rate Moving and Storage, and then my personal Instagram is Mr.Sarcione.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Vault Society podcast.